filmmaking is an extract taken from Satyajith Ray's book, Our Films, They Are Films. So Satyajith Ray, as you know, is a legendary filmmaker, an Indian filmmaker. He was a screenwriter, he was an author, and he has produced brilliant films. So he is one of the greatest Indian directors known to the world cinema. He was born on May 2nd, 1921. He is from Kolkata, India, and he has made his directorial debut with the iconic film Pather Panchali that was directed in 1955, and it has won international acclaim. He has also produced and directed these Apu trilogy, that is Pather Panchali, Aparajito and Apur Sansar. So all these films are very much known for their humanism and also realism in storytelling. So he has received many awards, and his works continue to be appreciated by filmmakers throughout the world. So coming to his early life and influences, as you know, he is from Kolkata. He is from a prominent Bengali family, which is very much known for its cultural heritage and also artistic sensibilities. So he is influenced by neo-realistic inspiration. You might have heard about this film, Bicycle Thieves. So he was very much inspired by this movie. He studied at Presidency College and Vishwabharati University, so that shaped her style in filmmaking. He was a graphic designer, and then he came to filmmaking. So these are the three films in his Apu trilogy. First one is Pather Panchali, which introduces Apu's childhood in rural Bengal. Then you have Aparajito, which films the adolescence period of the main character Apu. And third one is Apur Sansar, which was shot in 1959. It focuses on Apu's adulthood. So the main themes of his films are humanism, very realistic films, very slow in nature, which poignantly captures this every detail of human life. So he has received international recognition. He has also received Bharat Ratna. Coming to the summary of Satyajith Ray's essay Filmmaking, we know that it is extracted from his important book, which is titled Our Films, They Are Films. So this essay provides a deep insight into Satyajith Ray's journey as a filmmaker. So it discusses the challenges that he faced and also his philosophy as an artist. So you can find a transition from advertising to filmmaking. So he finds balance between artistic expression and also technical constraints and the influences that shaped his work. So you might have seen a lot of contemporary commercial films. So watch the films directed by Satyajith Ray. You can find the difference. Most of the films are in black and white, very slow in mode, but capturing very minute details of everyday life. So in this essay, Satyajith Ray begins by addressing the common questions about his professional transition. Satyajith Ray has come to the field of filmmaking from advertisement. So he says that the progression was a natural one. He has moved from being a graphic designer to that of making films. So he wanted to capture the natural emotions of human behavior on camera. So he didn't have much interest in colorful, glossy kind of films, but he intended to reveal human feelings, human emotions, human truths through actors' performances. So when you observe his films, watch this Pather Panchali, you can see that one shot will be the face of Apu, or you can see a shot in which Apostol's facial expressions are shown. So we find there is a kind of a deeply expressive cinematic style that Satyajit Ray uses. So he also talks about balancing between means and ends in filmmaking. So coming to his next important film, that is Music Room, which is a kind of a big budget film. Then he wanted to make use of cranes and all for shooting the film. So that was in 50s. Okay, so using cranes for making films was a big deal then, and he wanted to use crane. He was very particular about making his shots perfect. So he was very ambitious in his artistic goals. He had to make very difficult choices, such as shooting on location rather than relying on elaborate sets. So his struggle to obtain a crane for shoot was very difficult one, and it ended up on a tragedy. The crane fell down and a person lost his life. So all these incidents that he describes in the book are films. They are films. We can understand the practical difficulty of filmmaking in his times. He argues that filmmakers in India, particularly in Bengal, must constantly navigate financial and logistical constraints. They had so much of difficulty in raising funds and also in logistics, but then they have to somehow overcome this. So discussing global cinema, Satyajit Ray appreciates the European New Wave movement, particularly its raw, unpolished aesthetics. So he has taken much of his influence from the European New Wave movement. So he is influenced by the directors of New Wave, mainly Truffaut, Antonioni. He also talks about other filmmakers who have impacted him. One is Flaherty, another one is Renoir, and the third director is Pudovkin. So all these are very much influential filmmakers, very iconic kind of filmmakers. If you look at the new wave cinema, you can understand the impact these filmmakers have made on directors like Satyajit Ray. He emphasized that true artistic identity comes from personal experience and vision, not mere imitation. So seeing those films and imitating that in Indian cinema will not do anything. So taking inspiration from them and then making his own kind of unique film is his intention. He shares an anecdote about attending a film seminar where Flaherty's wife questioned his approach to realism in Pater Panjali. He explains that while his actors were not from rural backgrounds, their performances conveyed authenticity. So he does not claim of making use of the popular talent, but he roams around in the city, he roams around in the town in search of a face that suits well for this character. So that is how he found the characters that he used in the film Pater Panjali. He walks in the market area to find a face that suits for his character. So that is the kind of effort he has put in to bring out his perfection in his cinema. He explains that while his characters were not from rural background, they may not be from villages, but they have acted so well that we can never forget the experience that we get from that particular film. In conclusion, so when you write the essay, first you have to remember the experiences that he had in transitioning from the field of advertisement to that of filmmaking, and then his experiences in making the film Pater Panjali, and after that the tragedy that was involved in the making of the film Music Room. A person died in a fatal accident when the crane fell down on that person. Next one, coming to the influences that he had, you have to talk about the new wave directors. That is one, Truffaut, and the second one is Antonioni. He has also taken influences from the directors Robert Flaherty, Renoir, and also Pudovkin. Now coming to the conclusion, Ray's essays provides a thoughtful reflection on filmmaking as an art of human expression. He highlights the interplay between technical challenges and also artistic intent. So his intention may be good, but some of his intention have had dire consequences. It led to the death of a crew member. Emphasizing that great cinema comes from observing life with honesty and sensitivity. That is his view. So portraying life as it is before camera. His reflections remain relevant, offering timeless wisdom to aspiring filmmakers. So whoever studies cinema, whoever is influenced by cinema, has to watch the films made by iconic directors like Satyajith Ray. So go and watch his films, at least parts of the films which are available in YouTube. Watch a part of Pader Panjali. You will be able to understand how different are his films from the present kind.